Hey, GM everyone. Sunday vibes here. We're just hanging out, playing some little nouns. These are the 16 nouns, little nouns. And I am entering my LOL ship phase. We'll cover all that and more as soon as we get started, right after this. All right, here we are. Sunday, just hanging out. I want to make sure to invite anyone who wants to chill. Please join. I'll put a little banner up. I think we're going to have Al come on in a bit. If you were watching and you want to join, the link right here, I'm posting it right on Twitter right now. Just hop on. Let's also put it up as a banner. There it is. Yeah, we were chatting in Lil Nouns Discord. Yeah, a lot of interest in the orangutan right there. 528 Brooke, obviously, loves the orangutan. All right. Had a great voice chat yesterday in Little Nouns. Mike.
Yo.
How's it going, man?
Make me little stapler. I already made the maze, but Bix wants it, and she's the queen, so she can have the maze for her. You know, it feels right for the queen actually to have a maze, and I'm going to say that now. It actually feels right for the queen, Bix, to have a maze, given a maze is typically outside of a castle. Just saying.
But why make the little version of it? Why not just use the little noun? The aesthetics are better?
I just think like I'm kind of in like I guess like so let's talk about this because I know you were going to go into the jungle with the actual noun version as the PFP. But I'm thinking like it might be better marketing for Lils if we go in with the Lil version of our noun holding. So we are kind of changing our face to go in, but we're kind of doing it as like this Lil representation of the larger noun.
Well, let me see what the little one looks like.
I was about to make the stapler right now. What background did the stapler have originally?
Stapler is cool. Magenta Nogs.
It's just ready to rage, you know. It feels very much like an Office Space vibe, and you know, he is on the verge of burning it down. He like loves his company, and he just wants to keep working, but he also might light the match.
I think this one is so aesthetic.
It's really good, right? It was one of your favorites originally.
Beautiful.
Has anybody made the meme of Office Space with him with the red stapler in the hand, but like a noun stapler?
Yeah, I have.
Oh, awesome. Where is that? Because like we should upload that to we should get a bunch of your creations up on Tenor so it populates in Discord when you type in like keywords.
Yeah. It's
that's
this is,
amazing.
I think the best one.
I was almost thinking, can you edit it so that the head is kind of like right over the stapler on the left one? Like, yeah, on that one where like he has the stapler, I want it to be like right in his hand. Yeah. And then just cut his body off or something. Oh shit. Yeah, I guess you have to. How do you do that when you have?
I've become kind of much better at Figma.
Because I'm assuming the noun is like a single file. Oh, you frame it. Okay. And you drag everything into that frame. Very cool. You just taught me.
Well, that's one way. I mean, that's one way to do it. You could do it other ways too.
I wonder if you can't erase pixels in Figma, right? Like you couldn't erase, this just expose his finger, like his hand grabbing it here. That would be more of a Photoshop thing.
You could. You're saying erase these top ones?
No. Like the ones right where his fingers would be. And I don't mean like the whole thing. I mean just kind of like, you know, if you had like more of a eraser tool, you could kind of just like go right on the back of the stapler, show his finger so that it almost looked like his hand was grabbing the actual stapler and not the one that's in the photo. But I don't think you could do that here. You'd have to. It looks good like this. Yeah, I'd say do that. And then maybe we should put Noggles on. What's his name? Nerman or forget his name.
Yeah, me too. That's a good point, though. What kind of nogs does this guy wear?
Either like red eye ones because he's just been working so hard in the dungeon down there, or something kind of nerdy.
The gray.
Yeah.
Should I have him looking down?
Yeah, exactly. At the stapler or whatever. All right. It doesn't matter what body because it's the sunset accessory for the stapler, right? Sunset.
I don't think it's sunset. I think it's.
Oh, you're right. It's not. What is that?
I'll find it for you. It's like, I think it's called Gradient. Gradient Red. No, not that one. Gradient Dawn. Body Gradient Dawn. It's so beautiful with that stapler color too.
Really? I don't see that. Oh, here it is. Body gradient.
So,
Made it.
nice. You want to show it off?
I just made it my PFP.
On
What's
Discord?
up? Yeah. What time are you streaming?
Right now. We're live, dude.
Oh, I thought you were streaming with Al.
Yeah, he'll come on whenever, but it's just kind of casual. I think he'll be on soon, but no agenda really. Tell me more about. I mean, you're saying the LOL ship. I should do a little noun version of this to market littles.
I feel like it. Because right now you're playing Lils, right? So it's kind of, and like you're basically marketing Lils as you do this as well. And part of it is to show off the value prop of Lils, that like you graduate ideas forward, starting here at Lil Nouns and graduate things forward. You know, obviously not if things go some way, but that's what a lot of us hope will happen. I mean, yeah. So I think like starting off as a Lil would be kind of cool to kind of go in there as like, yeah, the Lil version of our noun is pretty dope.
Funny thing is, the LOL version kind of says Lil.
It does. It does. That's why I have that Lil builder too. Remember my LOL builder?
Yeah.
And I love that actually. And like, what if we go in there as like a gang, but all with the Lil versions of our nouns?
What color is my shirt? Dark pink. Yeah, dark pink.
Oh yeah, that's fun. There's just not much conversation going on in those private chats. I mean, maybe we could change things. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Is like part of the value prop of little nouns is getting access to nouns. But I also think we could, like offer a service and liven it up. If you say it's kind of dull.
Yeah. Definitely doesn't feel like a jungle. That's for sure. all I got for you.
Should I be a little ship riding the little ship? Like this?
Yeah.
Or maybe I'm kind of like a tugboat, tugging it along. So, Mike,
What up?
so when I go to the jungle and kind of introduce myself, how should I do it? Like, what kind of strategy should I employ? Like, what should I be thinking about?
Are you not in the jungle server right now?
No, I am.
Okay, you mean like when you go into the private chat?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, are you introducing yourself as Lil Panda, or as Carnegie, or as Lil Ship?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, it's kind of weird. It's like one of those channels where like you want to go in and say something, but like nobody's talking, and you would be the only one talking. Like if you even went up in there and like, you know, like it's like just I don't know. I don't even know if anybody would say what's up back. So you'll have to feel it out.
Yeah.
But it's not I think, you know, if you're looking for practical advice, I think you drop a, hey guys, it's me, Lil Panda. I'm here representing Lil Nouns. How are you all? Wave emoji. GM, you know, hit them with a GM probably. Let them know you're Web3. Most people in there are gonna know you already, though.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? What's your play?
I mean, I got to tell a good story, so I got to have a good character arc. I feel like I've got that, but I want people to kind of think it's funny and absurd. And like I'm going for their votes. Like I'm going for votes. I want people to like me, to like what I produce. And yeah, I don't want to be kind of annoying or crazy, or them to think I'm kind of too out there, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I would just vibe. I think going in with wanting to get their votes might be not the best strategy, because I just think that they I think like just go in and make yourself a part of the community by giving good feedback and asking good questions and stuff, and you'll fit right in, man. It's not like an ideation center though, like it is in like Little Nouns. You'll have to put things in like threads there, idea threads or whatever, It's like, and then like sharing links is like not something you do in there either, really. Like people aren't really doing that. So you gotta put all that stuff kind of like focused in like the Nouniverse chat. But I believe a lot of that stuff is already sourced by like bots and everything. I think something I posted the other day showed up in that chat. Just through like Nerman. Really though, I think we should find a way to make them all come to Lil server. I think we should make Lil server the dominant conversation in the ecosystem. So I worry about distracting from that. And I'd like to use our presence there to drive people to Lil's, to participate, to buy tokens, to be part of the community there, and to find like to make it like a more valuable resource for the Nouns ecosystem, so that we can get funding in the future if needed to fund our builders and token holders to participate in things like Prop House and other things that are community building tools that will go away if we go down the path where we've been kind of discussing the last couple of days. So like if we are going to go down that path and just get like a bunch more nouns, then I think we need to like establish like something for the community. I don't know. But yeah, we gotta somehow drive people to Lil Nouns. Make us I think we're doing it. We have the most real live conversations there, even when they're kind of heated. It at least like is like engagement in a sense. Maybe it's not always the most fun conversations, but we're kind of just debating back and forth on different topics, different things. So, and now we're seeing that other nouners are starting to come over because they're realizing that we're the most active, and nobody is denying that. Like people are just, they see it. They want to be engaged. Like we are kind of the community right now. I think NARS is pretty active as well. I don't really go in there much, but I think their folk are pretty active. Probably just as much as us. Who knows? I really think we need to. What do you think the best way is to attract new builders in? Like, we want MFers to come in more, like be a part of our community. Like you are a part of the MFer community. Like how do we get those guys to come over and like chill and vibe in our server and become Lil Nouns?
MFers kind of do what they want. Is
Oh,
sort
I
of the vibe. Yeah. What did I just do? Sometimes I am a total Figma noob. Okay. The answer to your question, I mean, I think, is it clear what we want in a builder? Like, have we made that obvious? What kind of builders we're looking for? I mean, do we even know?
I mean, we're general. Could be any type of people that want to join a community, incubate, and start their ideas, possibly get funding from us via like Prop House as a way to spark their idea. And let's take a actual, like, didn't Wiz get funding for Federation via Prop House here first? Then he went on chain here. Then he graduated forward to Nouns, right? Or am I wrong on that timeline? So, like, if that's true, then that proves our funnel of like a successful funnel.
Yeah.
We'd have to ask Al. Maybe when he hops on, we can ask if that was how it happened. But that's like what I think is the model for builders here. Like, get a funding for Prop House to kind of like bring your idea to life and show like a proof of concept. Go on chain for funding, or just go directly on chain if like maybe Prop House isn't cutting it or like there's no rounds available. And then on prop number 2, graduate it forward to Nouns, just like you're doing, just like the Little Noun Show says they're going to do on this next round, just like Nouns 101 would do if we had like a second prop for that, you know, like if we decide to carry that forward and do more, the ask will probably go to Nouns, right? Like we'll put up a prop to do more marketing and build it out further and attract more people to Web3 through this funnel.
Yeah.
But some people think that like we should just rely on Nouns to kind of push people that can't afford Nouns to us naturally, and that's like their someone's route for fractional ownership. That could work also, but I see the community dying in that sense. Like at that point, it will just be like we're all just going to Snapshot or somewhere to vote on every couple of weeks. But really, without like community, I see like a lot of people, at least small holders, just won't vote because there will be nothing tying them here and holding them here on like a daily basis. So unless you're like a significant holder with a significant vote that can actually sway the election, like most people will just give up on voting at that point and the community will die and tokens will be in control of those who vote. Those with stake. So little worried about it, but I shouldn't be. I just think like small prop house rounds are so attractive for new builders. Like you get bit by the bug, like the prop house bug, the Nouns bug, as soon as you get like a little 0.2 or something from a prop house. And then now all of a sudden that person is like a new Nouns evangelist, you know, like spreading the word on like how this kind of new funding route is available, and you know the deal, you know the spiel.
Did you see the little graphic I made, BK and SQ giving out the noggles?
Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna get to do this one.
I mean, it's such a small ask. 10 ETH.
What's the 10 ETH for? The noggles and the big shot noggles and the glasses and enamel pins.
Hey, Al, you gotta stop your mic. Yeah, if you hit stop mic. There you go. Sweet. Al, GM.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yo, GM,
Hey, how's it going?
what's happening?
Not much. Is this the prop house prop?
Yep.
Yeah, we're looking at it for a second.
Is voting live?
Just started. Yeah.
Oh shit.
I put you on the image here, Al. I got SQ and BK giving out a bunch of noggles.
Nice.
You should have like a ton of like people over on the right.
Well, we tried to do it in 20 minutes, so I didn't have enough time.
Oh, gotcha. It looks good though.
Here, I'm gonna put an announcement up that voting is live.
Nice.
Sweet.
Hey, let me ask you. So, like, we were just talking about like successful graduations forward, like, and like why I think like prop house is important because I think it like allows for someone to come in, get a small bit of funding to kind of like start or spark an idea, which maybe they then bring on chain, which then maybe they carry forward to nouns, right? Like in the future, graduate it forward to like have a bigger version. Didn't Wiz start here with Federation, like on Prop House, and then it moved to our on chain and then nouns? Like, is that like, would we consider that a successful graduation?
Don't totally know for a fact that he started here or not. Ideally, he would say so, because I mean, I think we have to be one of the first to have funded him. Although we didn't like technically post the prop for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Looking in Prop House real quick.
Cool. All right. Hey, let me reset the room here. Restart. Since we got Al now. GM Al.
GM.
Okay. So yeah, Al's coming on. I've been chatting with him. Basically, for watchers of the stream, Al, pivotal character, the microwave, one of the stars of the sizzle reel, gave us a bunch of advice, and we basically just followed it, and then he was right. And he delivered the votes for us. So yeah, just kind of want to thank Al, recap that, and then maybe get some advice for the next season. Or the second half of this first season, and also just jam about whatever's going on. It's kind of casual Sunday, but let's get into it, if we will, right after this quick intro. Awesome. I'm going to get into Al in just a second. Just a quick reminder here. This is an adventure. It's not financial advice or legal advice. This is a stream. We are sponsored by Lil Nouns. You can read the terms of our sponsorship on Ethereum, lilnouns.wtf/vote/116. We got paid to produce this live stream. A couple other disclaimers I'm adding on here is... yeah, Lil Nouns is really hard. It's kind of like expert mode. I do not recommend that anyone buy tokens. I own Lil Nouns. Al owns Lil Nouns. Mike does. But yeah, it's a very, very difficult game. If you know about the Pareto principle, kind of like most of the profits of any game go to kind of the top echelon of players. I think that's even exacerbated in crypto. But anyway, just with those disclaimers out of the way, Al, GM, the microwave, how are you?
GM, I'm good. How are you?
Awesome, dude. Thank you. First of all, just thank you for coming on the show again, for supporting us, coming on the show early on. Let me go back here. I think you were like our first guest. Geez, it seems like a while ago, but it wasn't that far ago. Yeah, you gave us a bunch of advice. We listened to you, and it really worked out. So yeah, I just wanted to start with that. Thanks, man.
Yeah, super happy for you guys. How would you say the streams have been going so far? I don't think I've caught all of them, but I'm able to sit in on some, and they've been super fun.
Yeah, no, it's been super fun. We've learned a lot. We've met people. We feel like our production still needs some work, but it's getting better. And more importantly, we really feel like we're on a story. We're on the story that we set out to do, and we feel like we can do it since we got our prop pass little nouns. But yeah, we're kind of sort of here at the halfway point. Of course, the second half is going to be, can we get our prop passed at nouns? Yeah, so I don't know. Just kind of wanted to open it up to you. What do you think we should be doing? How do you think it went? What advice do you have? How's nouns different than little nouns? Kind of, all that kind of stuff.
Where do I start? I mean, I don't think I'll have as good of advice for the second half here, but I'm excited to see like what I guess you guys have planned. So it's like I know, and maybe correct me here, but there's going to be a few more episodes that are going to be kind of leading to the finale, which would be then the nouns proposal that's coming. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to build a nouns prop that we want to pass and put it up. So we don't actually know what the prop will be yet because we got to kind of get feedback. But yeah, the idea is the finale for this season will be kind of like the last couple hours of the vote. But first we got to develop the prop and campaign for it and find support and, incorporate feedback, sort of that whole iterative process of trying to build a prop.
I that's something that I feel like I've noticed is that it's harder to almost like solicit opinions from nouners. I mean, as for us, like I think we just have like I guess less active voters in general that all congregate in one place. Like it's pretty likely that we can go to our Discord and reach out to some of the bigger voters and like get that feedback that we need. Whereas I feel like nouns have, since they've closed the Nouns DAO server, there are some unofficial servers. They don't even have all the big players. So I feel like maybe when it comes to like the campaigning aspect of nouns, it can be a bit more challenging to kind of reach everybody. I've also found, even just like with my own experience, when I was trying to solicit opinions from nouners, it's very hard to get that feedback before the proposal is on chain. I remember I was helping like Baba and team on their prop, and I mean, we got almost no feedback. I honestly thought I had like better rapport with some nouners and would be able to get like some form of feedback or criticism, but it was shockingly hard. So definitely good luck there. But I mean, whatever feedback you can get, I mean, like fantastic. Take it with a grain of salt at the end of the day. There are a ton of nouners with like various opinions, and I don't know. That's almost where like prop lot shines, right? Like you can get like a more accurate temp check so long as a lot of the voters are actively following. But I have a feeling that in nouns, you're just gonna have to try your best, like see what you could get. And I mean, if you guys are pretty confident that it's gonna be something of value and something engaging, then I think you have a pretty good shot.
Yeah. Let's see, how did you try to get feedback? And like, where do you think there are areas where maybe I could go the extra mile to try and get good feedback?
So, I mean, I tried like just DMing, which I thought would be like the most personal and most likely to get responses, but like I was shocked. I mean, I basically got, I think one response, and it was super short, not super helpful. So I don't know. I mean, like, I know, I guess I would try leveraging where nouners seem to hang out. Like, I know some hang out in the jungle. I would absolutely try. I would not be super discouraged if you don't get any or much feedback on your first swing. And And I guess like another thing too is like it's we know very far in advance that like your prop is coming. So I almost wonder if you just kind of start sharing some of this content in the jungle to try to like get Nowners to check it out, like give them almost a precursor of been working in Little Nouns, we passed this proposal. We've been doing all these streams, and we're basically like building in the open as like a game, and we're show them that the ultimate goal will be a proposal on chain. Maybe folks get intrigued and start kind of participating in that sense.
Mm-hmm. What do you think about like making a live stream event where we like build up hype to take feedback on chain?
I think that'd be a great idea.
Like,
It's
not
worth
take
a try.
feedback on chain, but I mean like take feedback on chain on stream. Sorry.
Right. For your prop on chain.
Yes.
Right. I mean, that could be fun. I feel like the biggest challenge is just like getting folks to be receptive.
Yeah. What do you think about identifying and learning about sort of the larger voting blocks or like who votes? Do you think it's worth doing some research there and being proactive?
I'd say definitely. And honestly, that's like I think another like very fun, interesting dynamic of all of this is the voting blocks are constantly changing. So, I mean this hasn't really been a thing for a while, but recently, I don't know if you guys saw, but Patricio with Alter like pulled his delegation from Noun 12, and now seems like he's gonna maybe start voting on his own. So who knows? I mean, like the total count of votes in all the different players' hands change constantly. I mean, even some of the larger blocks have gone inactive. Like you never know. So I definitely think it's worth giving that a look. Oh, here we go. So yeah, Poap is now an independent voter, which he has not been for a while. Will Price has 30 in his main, I think 7 in his alt.
Yeah, I'm going to throw these down here. Yeah, and just to echo what you said here, for those of us who are watching, who are playing along at home, the voting block, sort of the metagame, is constantly changing, like block to block. And I don't know, I find that it's very hard to kind of keep up with that because so much of it happens kind of just in a way that's sort of hard to access.
Does anyone know if Noun 22 has been active again? I know he took like a little break, I think, or folks hadn't really seen him, but I think he was chatting in the jungle recently. I haven't looked in a while, to be honest.
Yeah. The other thing that's interesting is, like, yeah, I need to get the support of Lil Nouns. I feel like I kind of did with 116, but I got to make sure I get our Lil Noun votes. And then there are other voters like 4156, he gave me a lot of votes in the Slack week or the Hack Week prop. So I feel like he might be receptive. Talked to Noun 40 quite a bit. And I feel like some of these larger blocks, I should really feel them out in a respectful way to see what I can do.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's definitely possibly the best approach. I mean, you give a personal invitation for feedback from these folks because, I mean, obviously they're a larger block, but I feel like it also kind of signals like, hey, I respect your opinion if you are interested in what I'm working on, but maybe you think it should be done slightly different. Like this is a personal invitation for you to kind of give me that feedback.
Yeah, I think that's totally right. And actually I really like how you said that. Mike, what and Nouncil. Al, you're on Nouncil, right?
Yes.
Index
What does
is
Nouncil have now? 7?
Yeah, I mean I don't want to take Nouncil for granted, but I was thinking of doing like a stream or some kind of event with Nouncil where I kind of get to know that community better,
Yeah,
talk a little bit, introduce myself, etc.
I think that'd be good. I've noticed. I don't know if you follow Nouncil super close, but they have a lot of their votes recently have been abstain. They kind of created like a new quorum requirement, and I think they've been falling short sometimes. So I definitely think, again, if we want to try to work with Nouncil, try to get their attention, definitely try to do it proactively. And if you can kind of rally their support, then at least you could try to get their for vote versus just kind of auto abstaining from like voter apathy.
Yep. Totally. And that actually raises another point about this other voter. Have you seen this voting group that kind of says they either vote no or they abstain?
Who is this?
Let
Is
me
this
see
in
if I
their
can-
Agora profile?
No, it's in their voting reasons.
Really?
I've seen it a couple times. Yeah.
A group of nouns that just vote no or abstain?
Yeah. And they give like a reason too.
Really?
Yeah, let me find this. For some reason, House of Nouns is not working for me.
What's up with that?
Yeah, it's not letting me click through. I need to sign in? Does House of Nouns work for you?
Let me see. There we go. I think it's working. Well, actually, I don't know.
I got
Nothing's
it
happening.
to load. I got it to load for Builder. Interesting. Quick side tangent here on this stream here. We got a question now. It says, "Can you explain how to get a little noun? I don't understand the section instructions. I have to pay gas fee to start a new auction."
I was on
This
Twitter.
is from, this is from OX Forbidden Era.
Let's see. I tagged in this? Or where was this?
This is just on the stream tweet thread.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me reach out.
And I was thinking let's just answer it on stream. Why is it that, well, the answer is yes, there needs to be a gas transaction to kick off a new auction. Why is that? Because it's an Ethereum transaction to mint a new token, right?
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, just like basically everything that we had, like, how do I explain this? Like the way all of the protocol works is all just smart contract based. So in order for a new auction to start, there is an Ethereum transaction that basically tells the contract to send the prior token to the last winner and also mint a new one. And in doing so, that also starts that 15-minute auction time. So it's good because, I mean, there's not infinite auctions every 15 minutes, but so long as there are active bidders who are settling auctions, it will always be able to kickstart a new one.
Yep, absolutely. And feel free to the questioner 43 Forbidden. Feel free to join our Discord. Yeah. Okay. All right. I found what I was looking for, Al. So this vote here, it's called nounsprotector.eth. Interesting. They have an ETH now. Nounsprotector.eth. Okay. This is probably like a Gnosis, right?
Sorry, I was just answering his tweet as well. I wanted to plug Little Block Party for him.
Sweet. Okay. So can you see this? Where did I lose it? Okay. So it's this address here called Nouns Protect or nounsprotector.eth. But basically, they give voting reasons. Like they abstained here on esports, and they said according to the squad vote, we choose to abstain. Maybe this is like a nounlet.
How many votes do they have?
One vote.
It feels like they're using AI to like decide their votes and vote and like give a reason. It's like the same thing every time. Go read through some of the reasons on like some of the last couple props. Been like weird.
But they never vote yes. They just vote no or abstain. Mike, GM, what you've kind of heard this thing with Al here. Any parts where you agree in particular or disagree or anything to add?
I agree with Al on everything.
That's crazy. I don't believe you.
I do. I mean, I like number one, I get the little red stapler. And let's go in jungle as a little pack and let's see what's up. Like maybe we can shake it up over there with a bunch of us in there. And maybe that will help you in your venture to conquer the jungle. But I think one asset that you and Index should deliver out of your show is the roadmap. Like, where are you going to go and like what places, like what voting blocks are you going to? And I guess maybe you have those there. But you got to like go into the Ugly DAO server and like put up your prop there, and you got to go into the jungle and put it up there. And like, what does the jungle kind of account for? Like, who's reading that? And then like maybe reach out directly to a few nouners or put up some tweets where you
Hold on, what are all the places you can think of?
Nounsel,
Go.
Lil Nouns. And like do your thing where you put the number of votes like currently next to each or something, right? But really you could just go to kind of voters.wtf and like look at the voting blocks and then just kind of like mark where each of them kind of hang out or whatever. And try to do your rounds. But yeah, I guess you could. Shark DAO's got a couple nouns. You got to go talk to 2240. You got to put out a little tweet, somehow get in front of 4156 in the gang.
I feel like there's a lot of other Discord servers, nounish Discord servers. Am I missing any here?
Yeah, there's like there's Nounish itself. You got to go and pitch Bud Light, just saying, or you're not going to get votes from Brewski. Wink, wink.
What's that Discord server called?
Bud Light, bruh.
Can you drop a link?
No, you don't need to go pitch Bud Light. You don't need to go pitch Bud Light.
Dude, why wouldn't I? That's like one of the funniest stories I mean, that's,
Yeah,
I
I'll
think one of
speak,
the most absurd
but
parts of this is that
um,
this Bud Light noun has a vote.
I'll-
And last time I got messed up by this beer prop that got all these Hack Week votes, just because it had to do with beer. Some beer noun gave it all his votes. So definitely can't discount the beer lobby.
maybe you guys should make some koozies or something to go along with that beer, and then boom, you'll be funded.
Whoa, it's customizing my experience. Whoa, I got to be 21.
Of course you do. There's also, let's see, you should probably go into the nouns. Everybody else is independent, I think. I don't know. Al, any other servers he should hit?
Not off the top of my head.
I mean, TNS, I think, just because that's a kind of a focal point.
Yeah, well, you need to get on their show and talk about the prop for sure.
Mhm. Oh, Prop House. Maybe I probably shouldn't shill there, but it's a big server. In terms of the structure of our prop, Al, are there any kind of particular things you think we could do for nouns or directions to go? Like right now we're just kind of unfocused live stream. Should we kind of, yeah. Any product feedback?
I don't know. I'm not very good at gauging what nouners want, honestly. I feel like it's also just not cut and dry, period, of like what would get support versus not. I mean, I have to guess that like your prop will most likely be content based. So I don't know. I guess like, do you have any like hints of, or is there maybe anything that you're potentially leaning towards?
I mean, we're building in public. I think we don't really know. We like doing these live streams. We like telling a story, but we're kind of open to whatever. We want something that's popular, something that'll pass, something where we can keep, doing our art. But yeah, I think we need to. It's almost the issue, I guess, is it's almost rude to kind of go to someone without a specific prop in mind, but that's kind of the stage we're at. Like, we don't have a prop written out, and maybe we got to just do that.
Yeah, because I think like, I don't know, even like a not fully fleshed out prop, but like some sort of general direction, if that has been decided, I feel like that's how you can get feedback. But if you're just kind of like, here's what we did, here's what we passed in littles, and next up would be to pass something in nouns, but we don't know what, personally, it kind of leaves me like, okay, well then what's next? Like I'm struggling to give feedback because I almost don't know what I'm giving feedback on.
Yeah. Mike, what do you think?
I mean, you know what I think. And you guys gotta have some deliverables. Like, what are you building? It can't just be the Seinfeld episode about the show about nothing. Like, which I get it. There's some value there, but like, then you got to deliver an audience, or you got to deliver a guest list, or you got to deliver something, right? Like, is it a podcast? Is it a like? If what you can control is a guest list and like a bunch of like deliverables on like how to graduate forward to nouns, then that's something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Something. But, or maybe it's weirder if you don't do something. Maybe you guys got to develop something completely just oddball and bring that forward instead, like the beer.
Yeah, I mean, we've done a lot of work on sort of this infinite meme, and we're both really kind of obsessed with the infinite nouns as a game. So I think that's definitely a direction it could take.
What's that mean?
Let's see.
What do you mean?
Okay, so we see nouns as an infinite game, right? And we're players. And so we think this is like a huge area, and we think there's a lot of value if we can kind of build out this ecosystem and kind of build out this framing of nouns as a game. It's, anyone can play. It doesn't cost anything to play. Anyone can build. You can start small. You can build up. You can meet friends. We think just kind of pushing that and just kind of playing that and making content about that is valuable. So what could it look like? I mean, we thought about doing some kind of, how like a game has a leaderboard, right? Like if you go back to the old arcade days, there's a leaderboard and you can see who got the top score. So we're thinking, what's kind of the nounish equivalent of that? We were thinking of doing basically some kind of free mint or super low price mint for this kind of infinite games kind of meme. And then anyone who wants to play, like, you can just mint this thing, and then there'll be a social graph online of everyone playing this meme. That probably didn't make any sense.
Not much.
Sorry, I actually only caught the back half.
Okay, so real quick. So there's this book called Finite and Infinite Games. Have either of you guys heard about this?
I have not.
No.
Okay, so I'm going to give you the quick summary. So basically it just says that there are two kinds of games. There's finite games, which is, like the purpose is to win. And this is, think about like most games, like a football game, a basketball game, there's 4 quarters, there's winners and losers. After 48 minutes, or if there's overtime, like everyone knows who won, and it kind of, you go back and rinse and repeat. So that's a finite game. But nouns, by contrast, is sort of an infinite game, where basically the purpose is to keep playing. There's, the rules and boundaries are flexible. There's not like real winners and losers. And it just kind of keeps going on forever. So when I say like I'm streaming nouns, I'm playing nouns, I'm basically saying, yeah, I'm playing that as an infinite game.
Interesting.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what's that have to do with the
So everything, like everyone is like, all three of us, our thesis is we're all playing this game, Infinite Nouns. Like we're all playing it, we just don't all realize it. But the more and the better players that play, like the better proliferation we're gonna get, the better communities we're gonna get. Like everything's gonna get better if we get more and better players. So it's kind of like onboarding to this premise. Kind of building out this story, world is like, come play Infinite Nouns. It's this, it's this on-chain RPG.
Do you have any ideas of how to encourage, like what could be something that could be done to encourage folks to continue playing the game? I feel like we're seeing, I think it was even like Gammy kind of tweet about like Nouns is good at giving like grants for deliverables, but not so good at like incentivizing retention. Like how do we get our, like, the good folks who play Nouns well, proliferate, engage? How do we keep them? Like how do we keep them playing the game? And by doing so, showing that it's fun and encouraging others to continue to play the game.
Yeah, I mean, we could have a prize pool. We could, like, for example, Index Card and I could host like a weekly show or a monthly show, kind of like, do you guys ever see the show Inside the NFL? I think on HBO, where it's kind of like a weekly recap where they kind of go into the game, and it's not like a pre-game show, but it's like a deeper analysis. Yeah, I feel like we could host that, like a weekly show all about like the gamers of Nouns, how they play, how they're playing Infinite games, and just really kind of talk about these ideas, get them out there.
I mean, that could be cool. You could also, I feel like, even double it and include just like, here are some notable players of the game. Like here's some fun stuff that's happened, this week or something. Just be like,
Yes.
Gammy has, for any of those who have been following, like Noun's expert player Gammy, who has recently been working on forgeries. He just finished the mint. Their game goes live soon, and someone's gonna win Noun 401. Like that could be like a highlight,
Yep. Totally.
See, that could be pretty cool.
hmm And when you're talking about games, do you guys know have you heard of the concept metagame? A metagame?
No, I don't think.
Okay, so think about like I'm trying to break this down into easy parts. You guys know the game rock, paper, scissors?
Sure.
So if you and I, Al, if we're going to play rock, paper, scissors, and then right before we play, I tell you, hey, Al, I'm going to play rock, right? Then I've kind of changed the metagame because now you're thinking, well, is Panda going to be honest and throw a rock, or is he trying to trick me so that I throw a paper so he throws the scissors, right? Now that's a very different game than if I say to you, hey, I'm going to, roll a 3-sided dice and I'm just going to play whichever one is picked. So basically, these are metagames, like me choosing, and I could also say to Al, like I could say, what else could I say? I could say, I could say you should throw scissors, right? That's like a whole different game. And so the application of this to Nouns is basically Nouns has all these metagames. They're kind of hidden and not as public, and they require all this like knowledge. But also just we're so early, like in the development of these different metagames. But yeah, I think I'm just convinced that at our core, this is what all of us are doing when we're signing our Etherscan transactions. So we're all playing this game. The metagame changes, and we might be playing different games, and Gami might be playing NARS, and I might be playing over in the Lil Nouns world, but we're kind of all playing Nouns, same game.
It's an accurate, interesting way to look at it.
Yeah. Incidentally, plug for my show with Will Papper, who just got Noun 40 delegate to him. He kind of turned me on to this concept, this book, and I'm hosting him with Index Card, I believe, on Tuesday. Yeah, we got to flesh this out, but it's definitely something that is really connected with me and Index Card.
That's an unrelated question.
Yeah.
So you are representing Noun 6. What is it? 677.
No, it is. Let me go to the dressing room. 679.
Okay. And how are we implementing that? Is this just like we've unofficially elected you to be the rep of 679? Like, do you actually have private access in the jungle?
No. So yeah, good question. And Cardno was chatting up about this. So yeah, I don't have any privileges yet. Dot had been talking about working on something to split up our nouns so that we could have, more than one prop at a time on chain. And this was kind of right around the time I passed my Prop 116.
Gotcha.
And for that, I feel like I need to go to the jungle, get feedback, campaign, like as part of the show. So I asked him if I could get access to the jungle, and he kind of said yes. And I just kind of chose, these were my final three. I really like this clean Hip Rose Chef, and I love this stapler. But I kind of put it to an informal vote, and most people liked the Lol ship. But I do agree that we need a process. It should probably be voted on somehow, somewhere. But I think ultimately the issue is that we really deserve 16 spots in the jungle Nouner access. I just think it's kind of BS that we only get one. What do you think, Al?
Yeah, I mean, I've honestly kind of wanted this for a while. To like, we've gone back and forth about just like the idea of having. I think this was maybe like the very first idea of what little reps would be. Like, people would literally act on our nouns and speak for little nouns in originally the nouns private Discord. I mean, that closed pretty early, but no, I still think that this could be incredibly valuable, and I think it almost kind of incentivizes our more active folks to continue to represent us by giving them the access to do so.
Yeah, one of the main values for nouns is it's this really interesting group of people. And it's kind of a club, a group, and I think we should. Yeah, we own 16. People want to buy 17, but we don't get 17 Discord roles. We only get one. That just seems kind of BS.
Yeah.
Which one would you want to be, Al?
184.
Let's find that one. Which one is 184? Is that the Yeti?
Yeah, with like the crazy eyes, and trying to upload it to little nouns here. Getting an error though.
I've got it up on screen. You kind of acquired some of these for us, Al. Could we get into that a bit?
Sure.
Yeah, actually, I've been meaning to do this for a while. Is kind of go into kind of early days. What was the first prop you voted on? Do you remember for Lol Nouns?
It might be number 4. Let me pull it up. Because I didn't have a noun till like the second or third day, or a little noun. It might have been to buy the steak noun. I don't think I. Wait, what? Oh wow, prop 3 was VS. It I think it was defeated, just not reaching quorum, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think I voted here though. Like, I don't think I had one yet.
So this looks like Will, right? Prop
Which one?
4. 4.
Oh yeah, that's Will, and that was his noun.
So he kind of priced his at floor and then sold it to us?
Yeah, basically.
Interesting. So he didn't disclose that it was his noun?
I think I don't remember. Like I know like super early on, I think it was Blequity was out. Basically Blequity and I were searching for folks who would sell us nouns over the counter. Will, I think, was just like the first who was willing to do so, but yeah, we were looking over the counter because we just wanted to try to get a few as quickly as possible, and then we kind of as a DAO shifted to being more so like, well, we want to be a part of nouns, but like we want to put our money where our mouth is and like actually support the DAO, not just line the pockets of noun holders who no longer want to be holders. So we shifted to basically forming a noun acquisition committee, and I was just bidding via multisig until we finally got like a nouns bidding bot.
Can we go to the prop?
Which one?
The nouns acquisition that you were a part of.
Sure. Let's see. So, yeah, 253 we bought from Nouns DAO. That was an over-the-counter deal. Noun 102 was an over-the-counter deal. I think this was... Which one was this one? I think this is the one we bought from Juice, the toothbrush one. Yeah, I'll never forget. I was super excited about that one because I reached out to Juice and he said he would be willing to sell one of his nouns over the counter. So I was like scrambling to figure out how to set up this like on-chain over-the-counter sale. And I remember I was like running into issues. It was driving me nuts. I was just burning gas trying to figure it out, but eventually was able to sort out whatever I was doing wrong and we were able to get it to work.
Here's prop 19 that you put up, buy noun 264.
Okay. Oh, here's the one. Yeah, so this is the one that we got from Juice. This is the toothbrush noun.
With the ETH accessory.
Yeah, I still think this might be my favorite one we have. This or 184?
I love the ETH. I love the ETH. Yeah, so if I wanted to go into the jungle, what do you think? Should I put a snapshot up, or what do you think would be the social capital I need to kind of get that done?
Help me understand the question. Like if you are trying to socialize a prop in the jungle?
No, so if I want to get access to as a nouner to the jungle as part of my Prop 116.
I see.
To build it out. So I want to get that delegation just for the jungle access. I don't need to vote. I just want to be in the jungle recognized as a nouner. So for that, do you think I should go on chain? Yeah.
I don't think so. I think Dado actually just said like 10 minutes ago, because I asked like how are we giving access to the jungle, and I think it's still TBD. He said we'll figure this out and we'll get back to you all. So honestly, we might just have to reach out to the actual jungle admins, and maybe they'll manually assign a couple that we ask for. But
yeah, I'm in favor of several of us. No, like I think we should get a lot of us good representatives who can get access out there. What do you think?
I mean, I think that'd be best case.
And then there's kind of some weird kind of privacy stuff, or like what's said in the nouner chat is kind of confidential, right? So I've got to learn all that stuff.
There's Mike.
Dude, pretty sure nobody has confidential conversations in Noun or private.
I don't have access to it anymore, but I remember in Nouner private, like half the stuff that was there, I was like, why would you not just post this to like general? Like it's not even like a Nouner discussion. Like Nouners were just like posting stuff that you would think you'd want to like share around in Nouner private, which could just be like a lapse, or they just don't care about community. I don't know. I assume they just like posted the wrong one by mistake. yeah, I mean, if we can figure this out, that was even asking too, is like for these delegations in the jungle, like, do we want this to be a part of little reps? Do we just want to like elect literally 16 active community members? Like, I think if we did volunteer base, we would have just like our most active folks would just kind of grab them up and begin to go represent us in the jungle. Like, that could be a good thing.
Yep. We almost need like a Secretary of State or like ambassadors to the jungle.
Yeah,
Little ambassadors.
literally.
Yep.
I just don't see this as getting it's cool, but it shouldn't be the focus. Like, well, we've got other things to focus on, and I honestly think we shouldn't be leaving our server. I think we should be driving people here. Like, our value prop right now is the only one really is that we are the most active community and like
Yeah.
a starting ground for people. So
Yeah, I would agree.
and there's just nothing over there. It's a wasteland. Like, why give them free vibes?
I mean, maybe we could just even be
Well, we
more
could improve
proactive
it.
about sharing content there to try to pull them over.
Yeah. And we could also improve it. Like, why don't we send over our best vibers? You know, whoever we send over a chief of vibes to spruce things up, make things a little more lively.
Nah. I named myself an ambassador of Lil Vibes yesterday, so sorry, the ambassador has given up on the jungle. I mean, here's the thing. If they want to support Lil Nouns, then yeah, I'm all for that. But
You missed a pretty lively voice chat yesterday, Al. Did you hear the recap? We had Will, we had T-Mobile, we had SQ, English, Dot. Dot and Will were talking to each other. It's pretty wild.
Sorry, I was on mute there. Oh yeah, and it was so yesterday I ended up traveling. My sister ran a half marathon, so like I was driving up to Milwaukee and ended up coming back, but I saw it was happening. I just couldn't join. I was like, oh man.
Yeah. Mike, how do you think it went?
yo, impromptu community calls are always so lit. It's crazy. Honestly, I think, Al, that's the move for calls from now on. We just like hop on when people are like active and like people just jump in and like all of a sudden we're on a call for like 30 minutes or an hour.
Yeah, it's like scheduling, like folks just don't care. Or I don't know what it is, but
We definitely got to start scheduling events though for the show on Fridays.
yeah.
The Twitter link if possible. But yeah, the call was I hope eye-opening for people. Like, I hope people like listened. But we'll see.
Yeah. I think the part I'm sort of most interested in is it just seems like we're acquiring all these nouns. They're going to be controlled by sort of a token weighted system, whatever the end state of the DAO is. What do you guys think about splitting up sort of our nouns, like to different kind of bodies to kind of start decentralizing? Because I'm a little reluctant to just dump a bunch of money into nouns, knowing that, you know, one particular whale could just swoop in at any time and just get control over all their votes.
You mean into low nouns, dumping money into low nouns?
Correct.
Yeah. I agree. I've stopped buying tokens because he killed the token buying. Like when people see there's like a whale like that, it's just. I mean, but here's the thing. He even said it. There's other routes. There's delegation. I think we need to go do a strong, heavy delegation campaign. Like Al has done an incredible job. We all need to take a play out of his book and run with it in all directions. Look to the right of that chat and what Blooms did, not saying we need to go to drastic measures or do it all in one day, but a rollout of getting delegation plus the Lil Nouncil idea, Al. Great idea, bringing that forward. I think could be something that really helps us. And we should really just all kind of rally behind that and bringing new people in that will align with builders and like proliferating the community and upwards to nouns and wanting to graduate ideas forward. Like really this pipeline that we keep talking about. That's why I'm trying to like find success stories so we could start to show those in like a visual sense. I look back and Wiz did not win Federation early on through Prop House. I thought he did for some reason. I'm not sure why. But I was trying to like, if we could visualize some of those stories and show like how an idea started, where it went, and like it going forward, I think like this would be really cool, like marketing for new builders to come in. And Brant.
I'd love to get Al's reaction. I know I DM'd you about this and you were kind of reluctant, understandably so. But the idea, kind of to put it more concrete, is like, say we own 16 nouns now. What if we keep 8 of them kind of to a token weighted vote, and then 8 of them, are subject to a different governance process that we figure out.
Yeah.
It's not as token weighted.
I find myself like thinking of the pros and cons and then thinking about, okay, so, if we were to act on this, how would the technical aspect be implemented? And then I usually stop and I'm just kind of like, I don't know, like I get it. If we do this, to my knowledge, like we don't have something that we can deploy right now to split the vote. So then we would have to pull nouns out of the treasury to like a multi-sig or something, which is not super ideal. I think if we can do it directly on chain, like put up a proposal and leverage some sort of smart contract so that we can split that vote without having to move the tokens out of the treasury, I would become more receptive. I guess the other part would then be how would that affect the prop house delegation? Would Little Rep still have access to all of them, or would we technically like mess that up? And if so, would we have to cast the vote twice because of that? Like what would that look like technically? And then I just like, so then if we split it, obviously like whatever, half of it might be token weighted. Who would we give the other half to? Little Reps?
Yeah, I mean some governance process TBD. I mean,
Right.
I agree with you. That's a hard problem. I don't have an answer to that.
Right.
But I think you hit the nail on the head, right? The heart of it is, if you leave all the nouns in the DAO contract, then you're always subject to an attack at any time, forever. So to me, it's like you can delegate maybe partially here and there, but at the end of the day, you're still just totally vulnerable once the veto's gone. So it feels intuitively to me like the end state of our nouns is they're kind of distributed across different contracts, but I don't know exactly what that looks like. And this is, I think, way in the distant future. And I might be totally off base, and I think there are obviously very valid and legit reasons why someone would say, hey, all the nouns should be held by the treasury. I totally respect that. I totally get that.
Yeah, this is a hard one, honestly. Because like I see the appeal, you know, I could see the benefit, but I'm worried about the delivery to make it happen. I'm worried about what else breaks in the process. Um, yeah.
Yeah, and a short-term thing, I actually talked to Will, and Will said he was kind of open to it, or he wasn't opposed to it really. But if we even just put a sum of our votes, if we unbundle some of our votes to some kind of group or body or something, and see if they can generate any extra value for little nouns, I think there are ways that they could. You know, because like, say you have a prop that's just on the edge of passing, and if you can flip just 8 of our 16 votes, like, you're still going to try and campaign and try and get those extra 8 votes, whereas you might lose all 6 or 17 under the current system. Do you follow, Al?
I do. And what's crazy to me is like what you're describing is what I would expect, but I'm also feeling like, I don't know. I mean, let's think of the last 20, 30 nouns props. How many came to our server trying to pitch to us? Did any?
Because we don't have a clear process in charge. Like, nobody owns that. Like, they got to figure out for themselves, and then they see the snapshot, they see how far behind they are, and then they go scrambling and send you a DM.
Right.
But we could almost have like a team of people whose job it is to like go out and interface with the prop and, like, you know, tell them about us and kind of intro them and see what we can get out of it, see how we can give value. Anyway, this would just require a delegation vote that obviously could be undelegated at the root level, so less risky, doable, and I think we should look into that with low reps or whatever low reps is becoming.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely be open to exploring it.
The other thing I wanted to float to both of you is, why don't we have Joel Cares on the show, since he just got that big delegation from Noun 40.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
I think it'd be interesting to have him on and to see how we can coordinate, learn about his strategy, his approach, and just kind of, you know, have at least a bilateral relationship with him, since he's such a big voter now.
I think he would be interesting to just kind of interview too. I know he's been like deeply rooted in nouns for a long time, but I don't really know much about him.
Yeah, I guess Index Card probably knows him. I've never had contact with him, but I'd love to get an intro, meet him, have him on stream. Anyway, what else is going on in your world, Al? Are you doing other stuff in crypto, or what's going on? I think you're muted.
Can you guys hear me?
Now I can. Yeah.
Sorry, I stepped away and grabbed some. What else? I've been like, honestly, not a ton. I've been kind of looking more into like staking. I was actually reaching out to somebody over from Rocket Pool and had them come on the Noun Square. So that was kind of cool to hear more about. For those listening who might not know, NounsDAO currently stakes like 12,000 ETH just through Lido. And there were some conversations around that being like potentially an issue, just kind of centralizing all the staked ETH in one liquid staking protocol. So I had someone, his name was Whack. He does like this daily show around Rocket Pool. He came on the show. And then through that, I met a couple other people in the Rocket Pool Discord, and I'm actually working with some of them on a proposal for Nouns DAO to convert like 5,000 of their Lido staked ETH for 5,000 R ETH to help kind of decentralize it. Honestly, the more I learned from the Rocket Pool community, the more I guess am bullish on like Rocket Pool as a decentralized protocol versus Lido. I think Lido just had like a first mover advantage, and I think there was like some sort of complexity when it came to like setting up the actual proposal to stake. So now just kind of went with Lido for all their staking, but now I'm actually working with a couple people who want to try to help us like get a proposal up so that we can swap some of it and actually, I guess, diversify the staked ETH holding.
I'm a huge fan of that. I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
I also think Lil Nouns should stake. I really believe that we should.
I've gone back and forth. Part of me thinks it's a good idea. Like the other part of me thinks, like, as a, like, we have staked ETH exposure through Nouns, obviously, with our Nouns, but I don't know. I guess, like, what would you say would be the argument of, because like if we stake some of our own ETH in Little Nouns, we are kind of proposing to lock it up. Would you say that's a fair assessment? Like we're unlikely to pay, let's say we have 100 R ETH in our treasury because we put up a proposal and we swap. It feels unlikely that we're going to be willing to give our ETH to proposers who build. And if we are, then what was the point, I guess, in the first place,
So I think it's best, or at least the way I came around on this, is I just start with the basic first principle of what staking does, is it makes your DAO default alive forever, as long as you hold it. So I don't think it commits you to hold it forever. I don't think it commits you to not send it to proposers. Like, for example, I think I would prefer to have received R ETH instead of ETH, I think, with my last proposal. Yeah. So I think it's more attractive to builders. But to me, it's really just about like this DAO thing is, if you watch the Lido rebasing, it's like amazing. I mean, every day there's just like, they get like 2 extra staked ETH. And it just happens trustlessly. To me, there's just something really important about that. And I think we are going to have, Lil Nouns is going to have ongoing expenses, some kind of security budget. And I'm a huge fan of just staking. I also think it supports the Ethereum network. It supports the value of ETH. Yeah, I'm a huge fan. And I agree we should have kind of decentralized. We should have kind of a basket of different ones. I will say the Lido mechanic is just really beautiful, how it rebases. And I think R ETH is a little different. But
yeah, I would not be able to explain it super well, but my dumb take on it was that Rocket Pool seems a bit more sophisticated, and I think it also has less concerns with like tax implications. Because I think, yeah, like the rebasing, honestly, I don't even think I should attempt to explain this because I don't know how to explain it very well. But my one takeaway was that R ETH is nice because basically every day the value of R ETH is worth a bit more ETH. Like all the staking revenue is basically auto compounded and built right into the token. So the token never changes. The token will always just be worth slightly more ETH.
Yeah. I think for holding it personally, I think there are also tax advantages. Although I'm going to have Jason on the stream probably next week about this. And I was going to ask him also about Coinbase ETH. I think you like Coinbase ETH too. I've got to figure all this out for myself personally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I still have some Coinbase ETH. I did it because that was almost like my first. Well, I don't know. So I've always had Coinbase. Like that was the exchange that I used to purchase ETH. And before I really explored like the different staking options, I mean, Coinbase just made it super easy. I mean, if I had ETH on the exchange, I could stake it and, forget about it. It was funny because I remember when I first staked with them, like there was the promise that, eventually the token would be tradable and withdrawable. And it obviously took way longer than expected. But like now they have like a liquid token that can be traded. It's CB ETH. Like I still have some of that. I'm going back and forth though, because now I've been more intrigued with how Rocket Pool does it, how it's kind of just like more decentralized. There's like exponentially more node operators. So I'm kind of going back and forth of like, would I want to unstake my CB ETH and like restake it through Rocket Pool? Would I rather just kind of have like a diverse stake like we're talking about? I kind of go back and forth.
Yeah, and it's going to be a taxable event if you convert your CB ETH to RETH.
Right.
So there might be a time to do that or not. It totally depends on your tax situation. That actually reminds me of another kind of concept, Al, to come back to kind of our season that Index Card and I are talking about. We were talking more about doing sort of, we get a kick out of doing things in reverse, but we've been thinking about kind of nouns proliferation in reverse, where we kind of go out to other communities and we kind of don't shill them. We like don't give the normal kind of shill, but we just kind of spread nounish values, kind of do nounish things, be nice, etc.
Sorry, I'm chewing.
So yeah, just like going out to, this is just kind of a free-form thought, but like we were thinking, hey, could we do an episode with RE, or we were thinking about Optimism,
Yeah.
or Base, Coinbase's layer 2. Like we think there are kind of interesting layer 2s out there. Just doing, I don't know, a couple episodes about them, or Purple, like Farcaster, and kind of reverse proliferation almost.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. And I feel like that's honestly kind of how my relationship evolved with Rocket Pool. Was it like started with me just being intrigued, and then I kind of just began to, pour my nounish memes and emojis, and the more I talked with the folks over in Rocket Pool, and the guy Whack who came on, he was incredibly passionate about Rocket Pool in the way that I would say that I was incredibly passionate about nouns, and he was kind of going on about how Rocket Pool's values very much align with like Ethereum core values, and I'd like to think being nounish also does. So we kind of bonded over that shared experience, and it like one thing led to another. We ended up, having him on the Noun Square, and we were like getting all the folks over, like all the active folks over from the Rocket Pool community to come check us out. It was less like, hey, come join Nouns, but it was more like an organic thing that just kind of naturally attracted them over.
Yeah. And I agree with you. Like there are a lot of communities out there that really do share our values, that have a lot to offer, like our ETH. I not financial advice, etc. I don't own any, but I do believe in Ethereum. And if you believe in Ethereum and staking, like these kinds of protocols, very, very, very important. Very, very important. Potentially like extremely valuable. Mike, you still around?
You guys kind of put me to sleep, not gonna lie.
That's crazy.
I'm joking. I just don't understand anything about the DeFi world.
Okay, Mike, can I show you this real quick?
Are you gonna show me more DeFi stuff right now?
No, it's just Etherscan.
I realized while hearing you guys talk that this is why I'm going to be poor forever.
But no, let me just show you how easy this is. So you see how right now this is Nouns token holdings. we own this token called STETH, and we own 14,860.93 of them.
Yeah.
So what you can do is you can go and look at it yesterday, and
I know we make like a little bit more, or Nouns does, but like I heard what Will said yesterday about us doing it, and he's like, it's insignificant.
it's insignificant if you think of Lil Nouns as a finite game. Okay, so all this DeFi complicated wizardry is, all it means is just every day the token number changes. So like yesterday we had 1858. So it goes up by like a little less than 2 every day. And we don't have to do anything. We just hold this token called STETH, and the number goes up.
So do they airdrop it like daily?
No, it's a rebase that happens at 12 p.m. UTC.
So, and how much do you earn? How much do we have? Does Nouns have stake to earn a little under what, 2 ETH per day? You said.
Yeah. So if you look at kind of our positions, we own a lot of ETH, and the return on that is 0. And so obviously ETH is there is some smart contract risk in Lido, and I don't think we should hold everything in ETH. But it's just free ETH if you're going to be holding ETH anyway, in my opinion. So we have more staked ETH than we have ETH. We have 12,971 ETH and 14,000 staked ETH.
Yeah,
Oh.
and especially like, yeah, at scale, I mean, this can make a serious impact over time.
So Lil Nouns blew it basically by not doing this in the beginning.
No, not at all. I mean, first of all, the hard fork that allowed people to withdraw their ETH just happened. So that was a significant contingency. And there's been smart contract risk. There's obvious risk. I mean, like, yes, Will's right. There is some cost to managing your position. But if you just let proposers manage the position with, proposals, I think it's pretty manageable.
What's crazy is Lido withdrawals are still unavailable. So I mean, the Ethereum protocol itself, or blockchain itself, has enabled withdrawals, but Lido as its own unique protocol, I think they still haven't enabled on withdrawals yet. I don't know what the whole reason behind that is, but
yeah, I definitely am not a cheerleader for Lido's structure or security or anything.
Sure.
Yeah, I am always sort of mindful of the Up Only podcast was sponsored by FTX, famously, so I want to avoid anything like that. But staking is really not that complicated, Mike, is my point. And really kind of, I mean, it basically gives you a default state of alive because you're constantly accruing money even without doing anything. And I think for something like Lil Nouns, that's just really cool. Al, would you support a small staking amount, like staking 0.68 ETH or something in Lido from Lil Nouns?
I feel like that's almost too small. 0.68, you said?
Yeah, just so we could see it change to 0.69 as a meme.
Well, I mean, I personally have a bias, and I would just prefer leveraging Rocket Pool in general, but I would be potentially in favor of staking some of our ETH just to do it. I don't know. I was against it in the beginning, but I guess I'm still torn. I don't know.
And I should say also, actually, I'm totally in favor of Rocket. I tried to figure out if there's a way to do it natively through our proposal, But I'm totally in favor of that too. Acquire some rocket ETH. I guess we could do a swap. But yeah, I'm totally in favor of Rocket Pool as well.
Yeah, I think so. Rocket Pool, like I know since unlocks have happened, Rocket Pool just recently had their Atlas upgrade, and now they, I guess to rewind, like one of the benefits of Rocket Pool was for traditional ETH staking, you need 32 ETH. For Rocket Pool, you only needed 16 ETH, and you were able to stake or operate a node. And they recently just came out with mini pools in their Atlas upgrade, so now you only need 8 ETH, and you can collateralize with like the Rocket Pool token itself. But yeah, I mean, they basically are just incrementally making it more accessible so that they can have as many nodes as possible to like properly decentralize the network to the best of their ability.
How could Lil Nouns stake 8 ETH then?
So
Can we do that on chain?
Oh, I mean, we can. So technically, you can stake any amount, but to operate a node, you now only need 8 ETH. And I'm sorry, and I was saying all this to get at the point that our ETH was trading at a premium, but it is now, I think, barely at a premium, or it's like a fraction of a percentage of a premium. So like now it's actually cost effective to even just buy our ETH on secondary. Which would honestly make it a lot easier from our standpoint.
Don't we get sandwich attack then or something?
That's true. I forget. I'm not actually positive what the best way to do it is. I'm sure we would get sandwich attacked though, right?
Yeah. And it's probably an insignificant amount, but I think the Verbs might be working on something to protect from sandwich attacks.
Be interesting.
But yeah, I'm totally in favor of staking Lil Nouns ETH. Totally in favor of it, Al. I think it should be I think we should definitely be doing it.
Right. And I mean, especially if we have like liquid staking tokens, like you said, if it ever came to it, it's like they can be used as compensation still. It's just like a diversification. I don't know. Like now that unlocks are a thing, it's almost just like why ever have just plain ETH unless you're going to use it for gas? Like why would you ever not want if your goal is to hold it as an appreciating asset, why would you not take the mechanically bound token that also accrues interest for securing the network?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that's basically the approach I've been taking. Like I don't have it much, I guess, raw ETH anymore. Majority of my holding is just staked. Definitely think it's so I mean something worth exploring.
Yep.
I think I'm gonna have to drop in a couple minutes here, but is there anything else specifically that you wanted to ask or chat about?
Not really.
Yeah,
I think just just wanted to really thank you. Appreciate all the support. Took down notes here. We're excited for our journey.
Yeah, I'm excited for you guys. I'm very curious to see what comes next. Like I obviously we've known that the Big Downs proposal is the goal. I'm just curious what you guys end up coming up with, what that turns into. I obviously will be here to support you guys and work with you and, hopefully try to help rally Nowners to give you attention, hopefully give you support. And yeah, that'd be an awesome, I guess, conclusion to the series of seeing you guys pass your Nouns proposal.
Really appreciate that, Al. Thank you, man.
Yeah, of course.
Mike, any closing words?
Have a good rest of your Sunday, guys.
Yeah, likewise.
All right. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you next time.
Sounds good. Thanks, everybody. Take care.
Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.